There we go. Good evening, everybody. We're going to get started here in just a moment. If everybody could go ahead and find their seats, please. And while everybody gets settled, in order to keep us on time, as we do have a full agenda, I'm going to go ahead and start with a few opening remarks. I do want to take a moment to welcome you to the Maury Alliance County Mayoral Candidate Forum. We're very happy to be able to utilize the Cherry Theater here at Columbia State Community College. They're a great piece of our community. We appreciate their support, and they're allowing us to use their facility this evening. I'm Will Evans, President and CEO of the Maury County Chamber and Economic Alliance, and I'm going to be your host and moderator for this evening's event. We appreciate every one of you taking time out of your busy schedule to come learn about our candidates for county mayor. You know, it's often that national politics is what takes the limelight. That's what we see most of in a lot of the news coverage, but we do need to remember that it is our local offices that can have some of the largest impacts on our daily lives as Maury County citizens. So because of that, we feel it's our duty to provide access to those who are running for these important offices. Before we go further, I do want to take just a few minutes to recognize our sponsors. First, our Circle of Excellence sponsors. You notice their banner in the lobby. These 22 members who are listed on that banner contribute above and beyond our organization to ensure we have the necessary resources to accomplish our work. We'd also like to recognize our event sponsors for this evening, John Mayer Builders and United Communications. Thank you for your support of this important event and for our organization. All right, candidates, we appreciate your willingness to join us this evening and share your thoughts on why each of you would make the ideal county mayor. We also appreciate your willingness to make the commitment to serve in this important role. This event is being live streamed on our Maury Alliance YouTube thanks to the assistance of Visual Media Co. And so we welcome those who are joining us online as well as those who might be watching this at a later date. So now for the rules and format of the forum. To avoid any unnecessary distractions, we would ask everybody to go ahead and please take a moment to silence their cell phones and devices this time. We're going to have 3 segments to the forum. We will have opening remarks, then we will have a list of questions, and then opportunity for closing remarks. For opening remarks, we have the candidates draw backstage for speaking order, and we'll begin here in a moment with Mayor Butt going first for opening remarks. Each candidate will have up to 5 minutes during that point. For the questions portion, we will alternate the starting candidate for each question, again, beginning with Mayor Butt, and each candidate will have up to 2 minutes to respond to each question. For closing remarks, we're going to have each candidate play rock, paper, and scissors, and the best 2 out of 3 is... Just kidding. We had the candidates draw again backstage for speaking order, and Gabe Howard will go first for closing remarks, and each candidate will have up to 5 minutes. The questions have been predetermined by Maury Alliance staff based on input from our organization's membership, which is obtained annually through our legislative survey. We also provided an opportunity for registered guests to submit questions for consideration ahead of time. These questions have not been shared with the candidates prior to them hearing them for the first time. And our goal is to get through as many of these questions as possible as time allows. To help keep time for us and stay on schedule, we do have a timekeeper in the front. Stephanie, if you could wave your paddle.
Gotcha.
So you'll see a yellow side. She will raise that when you have 30 seconds remaining, and then red when you are out of time. This is not a debate, and we respectfully request each candidate to stay within the format and time and to also remain respectful. Audience, we ask that you remain silent during the forum as well. Please no cheers, applause, boos, or other distractions. We all want to be able to clearly hear what each candidate has to say. Do you guys have any questions?
I think we're good.
All right. Well, at this time, we will move in to opening remarks. And Mayor Butt, we will start with you.
Thank you. Good evening. And thank you, Maury Alliance, for all of you who have taken the time tonight to be here. It speaks volumes that you care enough to be here tonight. I see so many faces as I was coming in here that I love, and so many faces that I know love Maury County. You know, social media has its place. However, I've really been looking forward to this forum where no one can be deleted or blocked or stalked. This is how we should be able to speak to one another. I was told by my opponent several months ago that he knows every Facebook administrator and can find out who any anonymous person is. I thought that was odd until my college-age grandson got a message from him, a despairing message, because he had put a laughing emoji on one of the posts. How far is a bridge too far on social media? That does not sound like Maury County values to me. And if that is moving us forward, then we better take a good long look at where we're going. I still believe the only best communication is in our own voice, our own words, our own hearts, and our own values. A beautiful, symmetrically structured chart may give times and dates and information, but it can never genuinely convey the most important things. My values are faith, family, and freedom, in that order. And I have made sure that being in politics has never changed that. I am a Christian first. And in today's divisive climate, if a person has to make false statements, empty promises, or accuse and disparage others just to win an election, then that's not a winner. I'm excited about running for Maury County Mayor again. Why? Because I believe our best in Maury County is yet to come. We have our eyes open now. We are putting guardrails in place that will ensure that we control how Maury County grows for the next 30 years. One of my goals has been to protect the things that matter, the things that make Maury County the place we love and the place that everyone who comes here loves. And I have not talked to anyone who has come here who has said, I'm leaving. We must be doing something right. Nobody wants to leave Maury County. We have a rich history that has influenced our entire nation that we don't want to lose. We have open land and cattle and sheep and goats, and I have chickens running around my front yard. We have delightful cities to enjoy. We have it all here in Maury County. And my goal is to make sure that all of us working together keep it all. I was with a group of very influential businessmen recently. They were asked what they believe makes Maury County such a special place. Why does everybody want to keep coming here? And they believed just like I did. Most of them said what I was thinking: the culture, the hospitality, and the goodness of the people in Maury County. Yes, Maury County has grown fast and furious. And when I was elected, we were behind the curve. And we are now turning that curve. Shortly after I was elected, I asked ECD Commissioner Stuart McWhorter to come down for a visit. I told him that Maury County just didn't need just any jobs anymore. There was a time we took any job that the state would send to us, no matter the cost. We don't have to do that anymore. I asked him to focus on higher paying jobs with less financial impact for services on all of us as taxpayers. With the help of Maury Alliance, we are doing that. We are bringing great jobs to Maury County. The County Commission and I have talked about this, and we are committed to reducing and eventually eliminating our deficit. We passed a $300 million budget and slashed $3.3 million this year. We have protected our Duck River and our drinking water, and we have built new parks, 2 new convenience centers, opened Campbell Lake for that neighborhood to enjoy, and are focusing on our quality of life. We have added service officers to our Veterans Administration and opted into the County Powers Act, bringing more development fees into Maury County to help pay for the growth. We had a groundbreaking for the new library in Mount Pleasant recently, and we're renovating the Columbia Library and our beautiful Maury County Courthouse. The best is yet to come.
Thank you very much, Mayor Butt. Mr. Howard.
Good evening, Maury County. First, I want to thank Maury Alliance for hosting this forum, and I want to thank every person here tonight for caring enough to show up and to be part of this. My name is Gabe Howard. I'm a husband to my wife, Rachel. I'm a father to our 4 boys, Shane, Luke, Jackson, Cash. I'm a Marine Corps veteran, a small business owner, and for the last 4 years, I've had the honor to serve as a Maury County Commissioner. I did not come from politics. I did not grow up dreaming about titles or offices. I enlisted in the Marine Corps at 17 years old, and that experience has shaped my life. It taught me discipline, service, accountability, and the importance of doing the hard thing even when it's not the popular thing. After the Marine Corps, I continued serving in other roles, including working at the Department of State and the Pentagon Force Protection Agency. Eventually, my family and I planted our lives here in Maury County, and I'm thankful to my wife for her generational roots here in Tennessee for bringing me here. We are raising our boys here. We've opened businesses here. We go to church here. We shop here. We try not to leave Maury County. We are building our life here. This is not a stepping stone for me. This is home. And because this is home, I care deeply about what Maury County is becoming. Every one of us feel the change happening around us. We feel it on our roads. We see it in our schools. We hear it in conversations about water. We see it in the pressure on first responders, infrastructure, family budgets, and rural communities that are trying to hold on to their way of life. The question is not whether Maury County is going to grow. The question is whether we're going to lead with that growth or whether we're going to keep reacting to it after the problems are already here. That is why I'm running for Maury County Mayor. I believe Maury County is ready for leadership that plans ahead, leadership that has vision, leadership that turns we're working on it until we got it done. For too long, we've operated one crisis at a time. We wait until the road is overcrowded. We wait until the water issue is urgent. We wait until the budget is tight. We wait until families are frustrated. Then we scramble and call it leadership. That's not good enough anymore. Maury County deserves a mayor who is looking at 10, 20, and 30 years down the road. We need a real plan for roads before traffic becomes unbearable, a real plan for water before our future is limited, a real plan for our schools, public safety, farmland preservation, and economic development that does bring good paying jobs here so our children do not have to leave home to find an opportunity. I believe growth should pay for growth. I believe taxpayers should be protected. I believe our seniors should not be ignored when they are crying out for relief. I believe our rural communities deserve to be defended, not forgotten. I believe our first responders should have the resources they need before crisis happens, not after. And I believe government should be transparent enough that the people know what is happening before the decisions are already being made. This race gives Maury County a very clear choice. Mayor Budd has had years in public office as our state representative and now as our county mayor. She's had the title, she's had the seat, she's had the opportunity. But this election is not about personality. It's about performance. It's about results. It's about whether Maury County is truly better prepared today than it should be. I respect anyone willing to serve, but respect does not mean we ignore the difference between talking about problems and solving them. That is where Sheila and I are different. I'm not running to protect the system. I'm running to challenge it. I'm not interested in empty words. I'm interested in action. I'm not interested in waiting for problems to get worse before we deal with them. I'm interested in building a county government that plans ahead, communicates clearly, moves with urgency, and follows through. Over the last 4 years, I've shown up. I've asked the hard questions. I've challenged spending when I believed it was wrong. I've pushed for responsible growth, long-term planning, long-term water planning, infrastructure, transparency, and a better future for the people of Maury County. And I did not just start showing up because it's now election time. I've been showing up because this county matters to me. When I look at Maury County, I see families trying to build a life. I see seniors who worked hard for their whole lives and are worried about being taxed out of their homes. I see young people who want to stay here but need real opportunity. I see small business owners who are taking risks every day. I see farmers, teachers, deputies, firefighters, nurses, parents, pastors, and volunteers who make this county special. And I see what Maury County can become if we finally have leadership, vision, backbone, and action. We can protect what makes this place special and still prepare for the future. We can manage growth without losing our identity. We can support business without selling out our rural character. We can invest in infrastructure without wasting taxpayer dollars. We can stop saying we're working on it and
Mr.
start
Howard, your
delivering.
time is up.
What in the world?
That's the leadership I'm offering.
Thank you. All right, now we will move into the question portion. Just as a reminder, each candidate will have 2 minutes. You'll receive a 30-second warning with the yellow, and then red will be the time is up. So, Mayor Butt, we will start with you for the first question. What is your understanding of the role and responsibilities of the county mayor, and what makes you the best candidate to fulfill those responsibilities?
I appreciate that very much. I appreciate that question because I feel like my opponent may not understand what a county mayor is. A county mayor is not a king. And all those wonderful things that he just mentioned, a county mayor can't fix all the roads. Do you know why? You have state roads that our county cannot even work on. You have city roads. You can't just automatically fix the roads. It was 12 years ago at the state when I started the I-65 interchange. It takes 10 to 12 years to get something like that done. We did all of the planning, we had the town halls, and now we have I-65 interchange. What it takes is working together, knowing who to go to, using the talents of the people who can make this great and do those things that need to be done. A county mayor is not the boss. A county mayor learns to go to who they need with the right talents to get things done and build a team. I would love to have done everything that was just mentioned in my 4 years. Have you ever seen how government works? You have to work with the people around you. You can't say, I'm going to take care. I have really smiled at a lot of these things because saying that I am a career politician, I've spent 12 years in politics. I've had 3 other careers. I am not a career politician. I am a person who knows how to work with other people, stay on the committees that I'm put on because I can work with other people, keep the leadership roles that I've been given because I can work with other people. And that's how you get things done. Not being the person who wants to rule the room, rule the committee, everything that's being done. You will never get anything done that way. The mayor knows how to build relationships, build talent, and create a team that can get things done.
Thank you, Mayor Butt. To Mr. Howard, I'll repeat the question. What is your understanding of the role and responsibilities of the county mayor, and what makes you the best candidate to fulfill those responsibilities?
Thank you for the question. The county mayor is the chief executive officer of county government. That means the mayor should be setting the tone, leading departments, working with the commission, helping drive the budget process, communicating clearly with the public, and making sure county government is planning ahead instead of just reacting. To me, the mayor's job is not just sit back and wait for problems to land in somebody else's lap. The mayor should be the person helping pull people together, asking the hard questions, building a plan, and moving that plan into action. What makes me the best candidate is I've lived that kind of leadership. I enlisted in the Marine Corps at 17. The only job that I've ever had is for Uncle Sam. I learned early that leadership is not about a title. It is about responsibility. I'm a husband, father, small business owner. In the last 4 years, I have tried to do the things that I can as a county commissioner. I've chaired committees, worked through budgets, challenged spending, pushed on water, growth infrastructure, and long-term planning. I've not just talked about the problems, I've been in the middle of the work. Maury County does not need a mayor who says we're working on it forever. We need a mayor who can bring people together and say, here's the plan, here's the timeline, and here is who is responsible, and here's how we're going to get it done. At the end of the day, when you really look at the role, we can sit back and we can say constantly that that's not my job. That's not what a leader does. A leader finds a solution and makes it happen. Thanks, sir.
Moving on to the next question, and we'll start with you, Mr. Howard. So if elected as Maury County's next mayor, please identify your top 1 to 3 priorities.
Priority number 1 is we really need to look at what is our long-term water solution. For almost 20 years, Mr. Bart Watley down there has been advocating for water for Maury County. Mayor Butt was a state representative 16 years ago, and there was no water process or water solution that they were looking at then. And still here we are today, 20 years later. The county commission has voted 3 times on resolutions unanimously for the Columbia Dam feasibility. Mayor Butt sits on the Duck River Planning Partnership, and not once has she said anything about the Columbia Dam. She's taken no position on that. So priority number 1 for me is we need a long-term water solution for Maury County. Priority number 2 is we have got to get a handle on what growth really looks like. What are we growing for? Growth is good. I know that's a bad word, but growth is good. 20 years ago when I moved to Maury County, I remember what the downtown square looked like. It was desolate. There was nothing going on down there. Today, it's thriving. There's a lot of excitement going on in our downtown, and I'm sure Maury Alliance gets to see that every day. You know, I think that the last thing is really it's the long-term vision. You know, we voted on a zoning ordinance in the county commission. I voted no on it because we need a blueprint. We need a vision. And now we're finally working on the comprehensive growth plan, but that's backwards. We should have been looking at creating the blueprint and then showing up with the tools. The tools is the zoning ordinance. And that would be my top 3 priorities. Thank you, Will.
Thank you. Mayor Butt?
Thank you. And I will agree that growth is one of the top priorities. And charting our own growth is extremely important. Yes, we started with the zoning ordinances first because our zoning department said that ours were so antiquated that we needed to do that first if we were ever going to have a structure and building that is much better quality. So we started with that to make sure that we could have better quality of building in Maury County. And now we are working on that comprehensive land use plan. We're working to put it together to see how we want Maury County to look in the future. And we're making a great plan, and we're asking all of you to help us do that. That is very important to all of us. The second thing I would like to talk about is having not taken a stance on the dam. I've been watching DC. I've been watching something called a WORDA document. And I don't know how many of you know what that is, but a WORDA document tells you what is going to be sent forward for appropriations. So I asked our congressman one evening if we needed that $3 million from the county commission. He said, "Oh no, Sheila, we don't need that $3 million. I'm taking care of this. It's a federal project. I'll get the appropriation. We'll take it to the feds and that'll be fine. We don't need your $3 million. That's exactly what he told me. Now, I've looked at the WORDA document. The word dam is not in that document. So at this point, there's nothing with the word dam in that WORDA document. It talks about the river and it talks about the ecosystem, but no word is said about the dam. I haven't taken a position on the dam because that is a federal project. And if the federal government decides to do it, they will spend the money to do it, and it's not going to be on Maury County. So I just need for you guys to understand why that is, I had not taken that position. We need to know for sure what the truth is about that.
Thank you, Mayor Butt. Moving to the next, we will start with you, Mayor. Similar, but an opportunity for you guys to expand. Looking out on a 5-year horizon, what do you see as the most critical issue or issues facing Maury County?
Certainly the growth is one of them. We know that. And we're working on that right now. Another issue is definitely the water. And I see Tim sitting out there. I understand the water issue completely. As a matter of fact, 10 years ago, when I was a state representative, the Duck River Agency were the ones in charge of deciding what we might do about the water with Columbia Power and Water. They were working through that. That was a 15-year-old plan. That's the same plan we're looking at today. And right now, we may have other options. That plan puts $600 million debt on the people of Maury County. If that's the plan, after we have studied the things that the Duck River Water Partnership have looked at, we have lots of feasibility studies out right now. Why don't we look at those studies before we put $600 million on the backs of the people of Maury County? We need to do that. My goal is not to do the intake. My goal is to do the intake that gives the most water for the most people at the cheapest price possible. And if that means regionalizing and putting other entities, other counties on that line with us, then let's do it. Let's regionalize so it doesn't cost us all so much. Water right now is about like it's been in the West for a long, long time. We're having water wars in the state of Tennessee right now. Every entity wants to control the water. But the truth is, water belongs to us. Water belongs to the state of Tennessee. And all of us should have a fair share in that water at a decent price. So don't think I'm against anything. I'm only for a plan that doesn't make Maury County pay $600 million when there may be another plan that's much better for all of us. And the third thing would be unemployment, but we may talk about that at another time. Thank you.
Mr. Howard, again, for a 5-year window, what do you see as the most critical issue facing Maury County?
Thank you for the question. I would agree that that question is very similar to the previous question of the challenges and that we have in this community. I want to circle back for a second. Number one, the Columbia Dam, while it may be a federally funded project, it's a local project. It's right here in Maury County. It's water for the people of Maury County. So when we sit back and we say it's a federal project and really, I haven't taken a stand, she hasn't taken a stand. She hasn't said one time that I support the Columbia Dam. Actions speak louder than words. Let me repeat. The county commission has 3 times, 3 different resolutions, not the feasibility $3 million. That was one of the resolutions. The other 2 were supporting the Columbia Dam. She never once brought it up in any of the Duck River Planning Partnership meetings. So when you look at the next 1 to 5 years, what does that look like? Water has got to be the top priority in that conversation. Growth, we keep talking about growth. It's the same conversation. What Mayor Budd also did, 2 weeks ago was went in front of the state revolving fund board and basically argued the fact that, the funding formula for that water rate increase, should not happen. They agreed with that. I appreciate her efforts for that. Here's the problem. CPWS has other funding formulas that are actually going to cost the people of Maury County even more money. That's not being talked about. So I think at the end of the day, if she just stated her whole goal is not to buck up against the CPWS water intake, but to add to it, then why are we bucking, a funding formula up there that is the cheapest money for a solution? I don't like the solution. I think it's a terrible solution at the end of the day because growth didn't pay for it. It put the burden on the people here in Maury County, and it's wrong.
Thank you, Mr. Howard. Shifting from issues and to more positive, so we will start with you, Mayor Budd. What did I get that right? No, I'm sorry, Mr. Howard. Got that. What do you see as the greatest opportunity for Maury County right now?
Maury County's greatest opportunity is that we still have time to get this right. We're not a county with no identity. We know who we are. We're farms, families, faith, small businesses, industries, schools, churches, communities, and people who care deeply about this place. Our opportunity is to protect what makes Maury County special while building a stronger future. We can attract better jobs so more people can work here instead of having to commute to Nashville every day. I think one of the greatest things that we need to be working on, Will, and I know your team is already working on this, whenever GM does a layoff and we become the highest unemployment rate in the state, that's not okay. We need to diversify our industries here in Maury County. And I know, it's just temporary. But at the end of the day, we need to be a diversified a community that's not so heavy in the auto industry. I think we need to continue to look at that. I also believe our location is a huge opportunity. We're close enough to Nashville to benefit from economic momentum, but we're still Maury County. We do not have to become Williamson County. We do not have to become Nashville. We can be ourselves and still be successful. That's the opportunity. Growth with purpose, protect our identity, and build a county our children can afford to stay in and be proud to call home.
Thank you, sir. Mayor Buck?
And the question,
Sure. What do you see as the greatest opportunity for Maury County right now?
the greatest opportunity for Maury County right now, and I will agree with that. The location is one of our greatest opportunities. And people living in Nashville seeing what we have down here, people living across the country seeing what we have down here. That's one of the biggest assets that we have. Growth in the cities has been great. We're looking, and I would like for us to talk about that a little bit. We love our cities. We want our cities to grow, but not to eat up all of the rest of the county, which can happen many, many times. But our greatest asset in Maury County are our people. People want to come here because of who we are, for what we stand for. And we have the economic growth to be able to do that. You know, we were talking about the unemployment, and we're talking about around Christmas time when that sometimes gets into a bad state. But the fact of the matter is, GM is now putting back $225 million back into Spring Hill. 150 of that toward the assembly of a gas-powered Cadillac, 125 million for an engine plant for the most popular GMC vehicles. Our highest employment rate last year was 6.1, but in May it was 4.5, and we're getting a lower rate as we go along all the time. Yes, we are diversifying. We have talked to Maury Alliance about that many times, and we are diversifying the employment now in Maury County. That is huge. And yes, we do want our children to be able to come back here, and we want to find a way to find affordable housing in Maury County. You know, the American dream was to own a house, and we want to make sure that my children and your children, when they move back here to Maury County, will be able to own that house. We'll be able to live in the American dream. And those are the things that will make Maury County strong. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Mayor Butt, we'll start with you for this one. And Mr. Howard, you were right. We are talking a lot about growth this evening. No secret, Maury County is one of the fastest growing counties in the state of Tennessee. Mayor Butt, how would you work within your abilities as mayor to manage this growth in a way that is sustainable while keeping Maury County a desirable and prosperous community?
Absolutely. And I think that's what we have been doing almost since the day I was elected. Working with the zoning office, looking at the zoning ordinances, saying that, hey, we need to make these better for a higher standard of quality of living. You know, I opted into the County Powers Act, and I don't know if you understand that, but we went to the state legislature, opted into the County Powers Act, so developers would have more skin in the game when it comes to development. However, there are other ways to pay for growth, and that's what we need to look forward in the future. We're looking at a real estate transfer tax and asking the state to send half of that real estate transfer tax back to us. That's another way that we can control the growth and help pay for that growth. Remember this, in 2018, the local sales tax was $27 million, $27,729 million. The sales tax in 25 was $69,173 million. You see, growth does help pay for growth in other ways besides raising property taxes. And when we bring new, diversified businesses here, that helps pay for the growth in Maury County. We are not going to put it all on the taxpayers of Maury County. And people that have lived here for years on social, they should not have to pay that. But there are lots of ways in bringing those businesses here, and increasing our sales tax base is another way to help pay for growth. You know, the state sales revenue has doubled with only a 16% increase in population. So when you bring the people, when you bring the businesses to the high density areas and they're paying sales tax, that's helping to pay for our growth. Every state every red state that has a growing economy has had price increases. That's something we'll have to deal with. But here in Maury County, we know how to grow and keep we have a wonderful history. We have so many things that we want to protect, and we want people to come here because of that. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Mr. Howard, again, how would you work within your abilities as mayor to manage this growth in a way that's sustainable while keeping Maury County a desirable and prosperous community?
Thank you for the question. I'm glad Mayor Butt talked about the County Powers Relief Act. I was the chairman of the growth committee whenever we worked on that process up at the State House. I worked with Mayor Butt in those rooms. And, one of the things that I really wondered through that entire process was, why had no one in over 20 years talked about the same 50 cents a square foot that we got? We were still getting 20 years later 50 cents a square foot. Let me remind you that 8 years out of the last 16, Mayor Butt was a representative for this district. Why was that not talked about? Why was there not an increase on the adequate facilities? Why at any time was there any conversation about impact fees? So first, I would make planning a priority, not an afterthought. We need a real growth strategy that ties land use, roads, water, schools, public safety, and utilities together. Those conversations cannot happen in separate silos anymore like they've been. Second, I'd work with the county commission to make sure growth pays for growth. I think that every single year moving forward, I know Representative Sapicki's in the room here, we need to bring an impact fee for Maury County. There's no reason that our neighbor to the north has that ability and we don't. We need to keep bringing that every single year. That means continuing to look at the adequate facilities tax, impact-related tools, development standards, making sure taxpayers are not constantly left holding the bag. Third, I would work closely with our cities. I think that's one of the things that continually is missing today. The counties and the cities, they're so far apart. And I think we're going to get some new leadership in the city, this next election cycle too. And hopefully that the next county mayor can also work with them. We need every tool that we can have in our tool bag for growth to pay for growth. Perfect timing.
Thank you, Mr. Howard. Continuing on that piece of growth, and we've talked about infrastructure. It's come up as priorities, as opportunities, lots. But could you each of you expand, and we'll start with you, Mr. Howard, on how you would propose to best address the utility concerns, whether that be roads or water, within your abilities as county mayor?
I'm sorry,
Sure.
Will, could you ask the question one more time?
What infrastructure concerns do you have for Maury County, and how would you propose to best address them within your office as mayor?
Well, I kind of feel like we've got the exact same answers for most of the same questions. But, just yesterday or a couple of days ago, we learned one of the bridges that already was, had some concern. They're basically shutting it down on Monday. And so I think one of the things that we really need to do is we need to have a full assessment of everything that's going on here in Maury County and the infrastructure that we have. I'm not so sure today, and I know that Ken does an amazing job. Ken, thank you for what you do and your team. Infrastructure obviously is the biggest topic that we've talked about tonight. Roads, bridges, water, utilities. I mean, there is lots of different aspects to all of those things that the county mayor doesn't have a direct role with. But I think that the county mayor role, just because that's not part of your title, it doesn't mean that you just stop right there. I think you continue to work with those partners and be that advocate for all of the constituents of Maury County, not just county residents, but also city residents. I think that's something that the county mayor role needs to do more of. And so when you look at the overall infrastructure, I mean, there's a lot there. It's like drinking from a water hose or a fire hose. I'm not sure that actually answered your question, Will, but
That's fine.
there's a lot of different pieces there.
Sure. All right. And Mayor Butt, would you like
Yes.
me to repeat?
No, that's fine, because we're talking about the infrastructure and the growth. And I want to mention that has been my top priority from the beginning, and that you have to be able to build teamwork to get that done. When I was first elected, I understood the water situation. I asked Maury County Water, Columbia Power and Water, the City of Columbia, and Spring Hill Water entities to come into my office and sit around the table and let's talk about this. I am very good at making those relationships with the cities. They know that I am Team Maury and I'm going to help them and hope that they will help us. We sat around that table And the city mayor said, I've been the mayor for 7 years and I've never sat around the table with every water entity. Now, until you can do that, you are not going to grow together. You are not going to be on the same page. We have to build those relationships. I am a person that is saying now we need to talk about regionality. We need to talk about what matters the most to people in a region, because it doesn't stop. Our water issue does not stop at the county line. We need to be concerned with other counties and how they may be able to work with us in our region to make the water cheaper for everybody. That's how you get people together. And you can't go to the state legislature and advocate for a County Powers Act and get kicked out of a chairman's office. You have to have those relationships to be able to do that. So I'm saying that working together on the infrastructure, that is important, but you have to sit down with everybody else. You don't get to say what gets to be done. Scott Sapicki and I have worked on that Bear Creek widening for quite a while now. When I was elected, I put on my whiteboard in my office, Bear Creek Pike, Highway 99. Now you see how long it's taken us to get that on the 10-year plan, but it's on the 10-year plan. Columbia City came to me and said, we have allocated $10 million for 99, and they're going to be asking you to allocate money as well. And when our time comes, we will. But you see, you have to sit down and make those relationships, work through those things, and work together to
Mayor,
get...
but that's time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Giving everybody a little bit of grace before I jump in. Thank you. Change it up for a bit. Housing, affordability, and homelessness are becoming more prominent in our community. And Mayor Butt, we'll start with you. How would you propose to best address these issues within your abilities as mayor?
Affordable housing has been very important to me. When I was growing up, we went from house to house to house. We rented houses one week and another house the next month, and we didn't have a house of our own. I'll never forget when I was 17 years old, getting ready to go to college, and we saw this little house in a subdivision, and it had a sign on it that said veteran approved. And I thought, what does that mean? My dad said, well, I think you can get some really low-cost loans if you're a veteran. I said, well, Dad, have you ever tried? And he said, no. I said, okay, we're going to get a loan. So I called the Veterans Administration, and we had 30 days left to be able to get that loan of my father's career. So we did the paperwork, we got work in there, and my dad got to buy a house. That was his dream. We have young people now who are not going to be able to do that unless we find ways for them to do that. And one of the ways is working with wonderful organizations like Habitat for Humanity. We are one of Habitat Humanity's best areas that they build houses for people in. So people would tell me after Dad got that house, they would say, oh, Sheila, we have seen a man own a house before, but we've never seen a house own a man. Because my daddy loved that house, and he sat on that front porch like king of the neighborhood. And everybody should get to have that feeling if that's what they want. So affordable housing is something we need to sit down, and I have sat down and talked with builders about it and how we're going to make that work. And the homeless situation, we have really worked on getting a clearinghouse for some of these organizations that we need to help, and homeless is one of those. At the Family Center now, they have a new director, and the Family Center is now focusing on the homeless in Maury County. When people understand that, I called just the other day for someone who needed a place, and I sent them there, and they have a place for them. So this is really working well in Maury County if we keep moving it ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Howard, would you like me to repeat?
Please.
Okay. So housing affordability and homelessness are becoming more prominent in our community. How would you propose to best address these issues within your abilities as county mayor?
Homelessness is something that I see every day. I walk the square in downtown Columbia multiple times a day. I meet new faces that are homeless. I meet people that are living in their cars that got out of their car to sit on a bench around the square. Tori comes by multiple times throughout the week looking for things that he can do. Homeless is something that I do believe that it's got to be a community effort. It can't just be the county. It can't just be the city. If there's any pastors in here, I believe the church needs to step up and be part of that solution. I think that Maury County needs to be part of that solution. I think the city of Columbia needs to be part of that solution. I'm not sure if the homelessness is also affecting Spring Hill and Mount Pleasant, but I think that's something we also need to be looking at. We need to figure out exactly what is causing the homelessness. Is it mental health? We have tons of great organizations here in Maury County that we can walk alongside these folks and equip them and serve them, partner with the churches to be part of that solution. I think we need to be real active in that because it is only becoming more and more and more in Maury County. Just over the last year, there are tons of new faces that have came into downtown Columbia. It is something that I do think we need to take very serious. As far as home affordability, there's lots of studies that I've been reading regarding home affordability. There's a lot of studies that are showing these big national builders are actually causing these increases in the demand as part of that as well. The dirt in Maury County is only getting richer. And so I think at some point we really have to take a very serious conversation of how can we create home affordability. Could I have 10 more
10
seconds
seconds.
just
I'm
to
giving everybody an extra 10
that.
seconds.
We need to continue to look at home affordability and the trending of, is that driven by the national builder? What is it that we can do locally and at a state level? Because, thank you.
Moving on to the next question, and Mr. Howard, we will start with you. How do you plan to work collaboratively with the county commission, county departments, and other necessary entities in Maury County to accomplish the tasks and issues that you've mentioned previously tonight?
Thank you for that. I think the first thing is respect. The mayor cannot accomplish big things alone. I think there's been a lot of comments online and social media that, how are you going to do those things? County mayor has no role in that. I think it is building that coalition so that you can get things done. County commission has a lot of power. I've been one of 22 folks. Sometimes I'm the only guy that was standing up for something, like 2 nights ago. You've got to work with the county commission, elected officials, department heads, employees, cities, schools, utilities, state leaders, and the public. But collaboration does not mean avoiding hard conversations. It means getting the right people at the table. It means looking at all of your different options. It means being honest about what the problem is. It means acknowledging that there is a problem and working towards a solution. My approach would be simple: clear goals, clear communication, clear timelines, and accountability. One of the things that I do with my team is I meet every week with them for 1 hour. I would meet regularly with my department heads every week, not just when there's a problem. I would work with the commissioners early. As a commissioner, I can't work with another commissioner, but as the county mayor, I can work with the commissioners individually. I would involve our cities and our outside partners when the issue affects more than just the county government. And I would make sure the public understands what we are doing and why. As a commissioner, I've had to work with different personalities and different opinions. That is part of leadership. You do not have to agree on everything to move the county forward, but you have to be willing to listen, tell the truth, and focus on results. And that's how I would lead.
Thank you. Would you like me to repeat the question, Mayor Butt?
Yes.
Sure. So how do you plan to work collaboratively with the county commission, county departments, and other necessary entities in Maury County to accomplish the tasks and issues that you previously mentioned this evening?
That's a great question because I love this question, because I am excellent at working collaboratively, because that's my strong point. You get people in the room to the table and you talk things out and you work through it. Yes, that means working with the cities. That means working with the utilities. That means working with the county commission. This county commission and I have worked together very well because none of us think we're the smartest person in the room. All of us think we have a role to play. And I would have to say that if you have been a county commission chairman and you can't keep that chairmanship, then there's something wrong with your collaboration. Because if you have the respect of the county commission, if you have the respect of the people that you are working with, you will keep your chairmanship because they will want to follow you. And sometimes saying that I was the one vote against it, I have watched people standing in front of the courthouse getting their picture made, sending out mailers with their picture made, who voted against renovating our courthouse. And we can't let something like that belongs to the people of Maury County and has a wonderful history not be maintained and kept up. That was one of the most important things that we've done. We have to work together. Each one of us has something that we want, but you don't always get what you want. You don't always get what you want as the mayor. But you work together with the people every day, with the cities. Matt Fitterer, we're working together well. Bill White, they are all on board for being collaborative and becoming a strong Team Maury. So collaboration is huge, but you've got to have the respect to keep your chairmanship. You've got to have the respect not to get kicked out of a state legislator's office. You have to have respect. And that's the one thing that people will follow if they believe in you and believe that you are being honest and truthful and above board. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Butt. I'll ask everybody to hold their applause, please. Next question. You touched on this a little bit just a moment ago, Mayor Butt, but in the spirit of collaboration we talked about within the county, but expanding that, how do you plan to work collaboratively with Columbia, Mount Pleasant, and Spring Hill governments to keep the relationships strong?
Well, I can honestly tell you right now that meeting with Mayor White this morning, Mayor White said, Sheila, you have been a great mayor. We have worked together. We're working together right now on another solution for the water problem. Something that people don't understand is that I can't, as the mayor, come out and say every single thing that we're working on. I can't. Because I'll tell you what's happened sometimes. You mentioned that in front of a Chamber of Commerce. I mentioned that we were trying for the County Powers Act in front of a Chamber of Commerce, big meeting, and guess what happened? They went back to Nashville and lobbied against us. Sometimes being a leader is keeping your mouth shut till you can get something done. It's very important for leaders to understand that. You can't blow everything up and try to create all this heyday and get the things done that need to be done. It takes some discretion. It takes some diplomacy. And Matt Fitter and I've talked recently about the urban growth boundaries and how we're going to work together on that. They are very willing to work with us. They want to work with us because they know I don't think that I'm going to rule everything, but I do believe that together we have great minds and we're going to make Maury County the best place to live, work, and raise our families. But you cannot do that if you're fighting against the cities and the municipalities. We have got to, and they have been very willing to do that. Thank you.
Mr. Howard, how do you plan to work collaboratively with Columbia, Mount Pleasant, and Spring Hill governments to keep these relationships strong?
Thank you for that. For someone that has accused me of slinging a lot of mud, there's a lot of mud being slung here tonight. I just want to clear up a couple of things. Number one, I've never been kicked out of a chairman's office, ever.
Going to ask the audience to please
Ever.
honor the rules.
You know, yeah, that's mind blowing to me. But facts do matter, and if anybody really wants to know, just reach out to me.
No, reach out to the other person.
I remember whenever I was first elected, I reached out to Mayor Bill White, and I said, Mayor White, we're going to do a Better Together potluck dinner at our venue, our farm venue, and I would like for you to come to it. When he got there, he said, Gabe, Mount Pleasant has been treated like a redheaded stepchild for a long time. We've never had a seat at the table. It meant a lot that you reached out to me. I think one of the things that we continually have to do is to build those relationships. I talked about that a few minutes ago. There is a big disconnect between the city and the county, and there's some things that I think we need to continue to work on. The relationship part of it is extremely important in how we move forward. I think we've got to continue to fight for what our constituents want. And that interaction at the State House where I was kicked out, I was fighting for what Maury County wanted.
So you were kicked out.
I was never kicked out. He stood up, and then we sat back down and we had a conversation, Mayor Butt. So you probably should get your facts correct on that.
Oh, that's funny. He
But
told me you should not come back.
I'll ask the candidates to please stay on topic of the question. Thank you.
And there were other county commissioners there.
lots of mudslinging, lots of hypocrisy coming from over there. Thank you, Will.
Okay. Thank you.
Hilarious.
All right. Mr. Howard, we will start with you for the next question. What do you see as the biggest issue or opportunity around public safety in Maury County, and how do you plan to work within the role of the county mayors to address these?
Thank you for that question. So one of the things that I have been advocating for here recently, a lot of folks don't even realize that Maury County is predominantly a volunteer fire department. When we actually say it's a department, it's actually not at all a department of Maury County. It's a 501c3, predominantly volunteer. This county commission has done amazing things over the last 4 years for the Maury County Fire Department, and I'm very proud to be part of that. And we've had several champions, on the commission that have championed the last 4 years. Commissioner Prevetti has been a big advocate for the fire department. I appreciate his heart for that. One of the things that I think we have to have a real serious conversation about is when we're talking about life safety. Right now, today, we have 6 paid fire department members that, again, are paid through a 501c3. We need a Maury County Fire Department. It needs to be brought under the umbrella tomorrow. Right now, you have a chief and a deputy chief that are doing maintenance on Maury County buildings. They're paying the light bill in these buildings instead of leading their team and their firefighters. And I think we got to get real serious about that. Right now, today, we also need to have a very serious conversation about ambulances. I really appreciate Dr. Cheney. He's in the room here tonight. I appreciate his leadership at Maury Regional and the things that he has brought to the table as being part of the ambulance committee. I was part of that committee until Mayor Butt made sure that I wasn't any part of that committee any longer because it was election time. But I appreciate the efforts that have been put into that ambulance committee. We need more ambulances in Maury County. Right now today, and I heard just 2 nights ago, there was a call for medical and there wasn't an ambulance available.
Mayor Butt.
Yes, thank you. That is interesting that Mayor Butt took him off the committee, but the truth is, after one of the meetings, there were people in there who said, we can't work with him. We can't work with him. So we do have to make it so we will be able to have conversations without getting extremely confrontational and extremely being the loudest voice in the room. That is no way for collaboration. That is no way to get things done with the EMS, with the hospital, with the fire department, with anybody. It takes diplomacy. And it takes listening to somebody else every now and then instead of bloviating that your ideas are the best in the room. You have to be able to listen to be a leader. It's one of the most important elements of leading. And until you can do that, people don't want you on their committee. People don't want you to be a chairman. People don't want you to be those things because you don't know how to listen. And great leaders listen. Yes, I am 100% in support of our Maury County Fire Department. They do fantastic things. If you watch what they do, it is amazing how they are taking care of this county 24/7. And yes, they asked for recently to us if they might be able to get a fire station and buy some property in Santa Fe. We've got to make sure that we have those ambulance and those fire trucks in places where they need to be. And I'm going to be for that. I need to mention about the EMS as well, about the fire department and EMS as well, because I sat with Mayor Fitterer yesterday. And we're discussing that Williamson County Medical is dropping the EMS service on the Maury County side. Now, you have to get in front of that. We have to be in front of that. We have 9 ambulances here in Maury County. We don't have the ambulances to take care of that side of Spring Hill right now without somebody not having the amount of ambulances they need and great response times. So we're working on some other things that Williamson may keep that, but we may have to pay them some
That's
kind of.
time, Mayor.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thanks.
All right. We have just a couple more questions, then we'll get into closing comments. Let's see. So, Mayor Butt, we will start with you. If you were having a conversation with a business considering locating to Maury County and they asked you why they should move here, what would you tell them?
I do that on a regular basis, as you know. We sit and talk about businesses that are coming here. And what I would tell them is, for one thing, you are coming to a county who is a community who cares for each other, who looks out for each other, who you may see someone on the street and be able to say hello. But you're also coming because we have a fantastic downtown. We have a fantastic rural area. We are keeping your taxes low. Do you understand that when we just now did the reappraisals, we didn't take the certified tax rate? If we had taken we took the certified tax rate. If we had not taken that certified tax rate, your taxes would have gone up exponentially. When the government gives you a certified tax rate, that makes sure that when the reappraisal comes, that the coffers of the county don't get full of more money. We make it safe, we make it fair for the people of Maury County. People are coming here because we do have a low tax rate, because we do have a thriving downtown, because they do want to be a part. Our next door neighbors who have come recently have bought a house for $1.2 million. And for them, that's a drop in the bucket. And they think they've bought the Ponderosa. So they can come here and buy a Ponderosa with the money that they were paying for a small house in California or anywhere else. You come to Maury County because we are conservative. We're conservative with our taxes. We're conservative with our values. We're conservative with taking care of one another. And we have so much to offer right here, right at 65, when you can go to Huntsville, and Huntsville is getting ready to have about 30,000 more jobs with the Space Center in Huntsville. We are in a place that people are going to want to come to live because they're not going to want to live in Huntsville with 30,000 more people. Businesses are going to come here because our small businesses are the backbone of this community.
Thank you. Mr. Howard, to repeat the question, if you were having a conversation, you got it? Okay.
I've got it. Thank
All
you,
right.
sir. I would tell them it's one of the best places in Tennessee to build, grow, invest. But I would also be honest with them. We have an incredible workforce. We have strong communities. We have access to major markets. We have people who know how to work. We have families who want opportunity here at home. And we have a quality of life that is hard to beat. But I would also tell them that we're not interested in growth at any cost. The right businesses for Maury County are businesses that bring good paying jobs, respect our community, invest in our people, and help strengthen the county, instead of just using it. I want companies that give our kids a reason to stay here. I want companies that help diversify our economy. I want companies that understand Maury County is not just a location on a map. It's a community with history, character, and values. So my answer would be, come to Maury County if you want to be part of something special. Come here if you want a strong workforce, a growing community, and a place where people still care about family, faith, work, and community. But come here and be ready to be a good partner.
Thank you, Mr. Howard. All right. Last question. We will start with you as well, Mr. Howard. Communication is key. How do you plan to communicate with the citizens of Maury County regularly and effectively if elected?
Will, this is a great question. This is something that I've done for 4 years as a county commissioner. It's something that I think the county is really, really lacking on. Not until I started pushing a little bit on the Maury County government did they ever post anything on their social media. Unfortunately, we live in a world where we got to meet people where they're at. They're right here. They're on Facebook. They're on Instagram. They're on Twitter. I guess it's not Twitter, X. We've got to meet them there. Communication has to be consistent, clear, and honest. People should not have to dig through agendas, rumors, Facebook posts, and last-minute meetings to understand what the county government is doing. As mayor, I would communicate regularly with citizens through public updates, social media, email updates, videos, town halls, community meetings, and direct outreach across every part of the county. But communication is not just talking, it's listening. I'd make sure people have opportunities to be heard before decisions are made, not just after the direction has already been set. I would want citizens to know what is coming, what it costs, why it matters, and how they can weigh in. I also believe the mayor should show up not just at ribbon cuttings and big events, but in communities. Churches, schools, fire halls, farms, small businesses, and neighborhoods. Good communication builds trust. And right now, people want to know that their county government sees them, hears them, and respects them.
Thank you. Mayor Butt.
Thank you. And in this past year, Maury County government has redone our website so that you can be able, as a matter of fact, I get notifications all the time for all the meetings that are coming up in the next day or two. You can go on that website and sign up to get any of those notifications that you want. As a matter of fact, I got notifications today about some great things that are going on at the park. So we need to get that out a little more, that you can go right there and find anything that you want to do in Maury County. And we have everything on that page. I also try very, very hard on my Facebook page to keep people informed about things that are going on. You know, we've been through a tornado, we've been through an ice storm, and it has been so important to keep people in communication. And we have done that with the mayor's office and the Office of Emergency Management. And it is important that you all know what's going on. And I get a little tickle when somebody says we're going to have open meetings. We have open meetings. Every commission meeting is open to anyone who wants to come. Every budget committee is open to anyone who wants to come. And I thoroughly encourage you to do that, because that's where you find out what's really going on instead of what's on Facebook or in other areas of communication. Communication is very important, and it takes some of your interest as well to come to those things and learn those things. And yes, if you would go to our website, you will find where you can get all of that information. And I have tried very hard to keep people informed about those things. So it's a matter of, truthfully, do you want to know? And if you want to know, then look at my page, look at the Maury government page, or guys, we just need to work together to get the word out. I have asked the county commissioners many times, let's put this on all of our pages for everyone to see. My office has always been open. I have put my personal phone number out on Facebook because I want to communicate. It's extremely important, and I want us all to be a part of that.
All right. Thank you. We'll now move into the closing remarks section. If you'll remember, we drew numbers, and Mr. Howard drew to go first. So each candidate will have up to 5 minutes to make closing remarks.
First of all, Will, thank you to you and your team for setting this up and for being here tonight. Tonight, you've heard from two candidates, and I hope what you heard tonight was not just a difference in answers. I hope you heard a difference in leadership, because Maury County is standing in one of those moments where people can feel something is changing, but they're not always sure who is actually steering it. You feel it when you leave early just to go to get somewhere in time. You feel it when another field is cleared and you wonder if anyone thought about the roads, the schools, the water, or the family already living next door. You feel it when seniors say, I do not know how much longer I can afford to stay in the home I worked my whole life for. You feel it when families are told we're working on it, but nothing seems to get any closer to done. That phrase has become the porch light of county government. It looks like somebody is home, but too often nobody ever comes to the door. Maury County does not need another porch light. Maury County needs somebody to open the door, roll up their sleeves, and get to work. That's why I'm running for mayor. Not because I need a title, not because I'm looking for the next political office, and not because I think this is going to be easy. I'm running because this is my home. This is my family's home. Rachel and I are raising our boys here. We have built businesses here. We worship here, we serve here, and we are invested here. And when I look at my boys, I do not want to tell them one day we saw the problems coming and did not have the courage to act. I want to tell them we stood up, we planned ahead, we protected what mattered, and left Maury County better than we found it. That is what leadership is supposed to do. It's supposed to manage excuses. It is supposed to produce results. Tonight, you've heard from Mayor Butt, and I respect anyone who serves. But respect does not mean we ignore reality. She's had the title. She's had the seat. She's had the opportunity. And Maury County still has the same major problems sitting in front of us. Growth without a real plan. Water questions without clear leadership. Roads that are behind. Infrastructure that is behind. Seniors looking for relief. Taxpayers wonder why government always seems to find more ways to spend their money, but not enough ways to protect it. That's the difference in this race. Mayor Butt is asking for more time. I'm asking for the chance to bring a different kind of leadership to Maury County. Leadership that does not wait for crisis. Leadership that tells people the truth. Leadership that believes growth should pay for growth. Leadership that protects rural Maury County before it's gone. Leadership that respects taxpayers because the money belongs to you. Leadership that understands our schools, deputies, firefighters, EMS, roads, and water future cannot be handled with slogans and good intentions. They require a plan. They require urgency. They require follow through. When I joined the Marine Corps at 17 years old, I learned something pretty quickly. Hope is not a strategy. You do not hope your way through a mission. You prepare, you communicate, you make decisions, you adjust when needed, and you finish the job. That's what Maury County needs right now. Not panic, not politics as usual, not more waiting. We need leadership that can look at where we are, see where we're headed, and have the backbone to say, we better start building the future before it runs us over. Because the future is coming whether county government is ready or not. The question is whether we're going to shape it or whether we're going to let it shape us. I believe we can shape it. I believe we can protect Columbia, Spring Hill, Mount Pleasant, Colioca, Santa Fe, Hampshire, Williamsport, and every rural road and family in between. I believe we can grow without losing who we are. I believe we can plan without overreaching. I believe we can support business without selling out our land. I believe we can invest in infrastructure without wasting taxpayer dollars. I believe we can finally move from talking about problems to solving them, but we have to choose it. Tonight, when you leave this room, I want you to remember one thing. A porch light is not leadership. A promise is not a plan, and we're working on it is not a result. Maury County deserves more than that. You deserve a mayor who will show up, listen, ask the hard questions, tell the truth, fight for taxpayers, stand with families, defend our rural communities, and work every single day to move this county forward. That's who I am. That's how I've served, and that is the mayor I will be. My name is Gabe Howard, and I'm asking for your vote. I'm asking for your trust, and I'm asking you to believe with me that the best days of Maury County are not behind us. They're ahead of us. If we have the courage to leave, so let's stop leaving the porch light on and pretending that is enough. Let's open the door. Let's get to work, and let's get it done. Thank you, Maury County. God bless you. God bless this place that we are blessed to call home.
Thank you, Mr. Howard. All right. Mayor Butt,
Thank you.
closing remarks.
People that have worked for Maury County and the cities in the past have made this a place that people want to come to. Let's give them some credit for that. Yes, we got behind the curve in the growth, but right now people want to come here because of the things that many other people have done in the past. And in the past few years, and since I have been mayor, and changing this trajectory to looking toward the future, which is exactly what we're doing here in Maury County. That's why we're doing the comprehensive use plan. That's why we're making sure that businesses are incentivized to come here. That's why we're making sure that our downtown small businesses and small businesses across the county are being supported by every one of us. People want to come here, and we want them to come, and we want to grow the right way, and we want to support them in their businesses. They know that. So what people are coming here for, let's don't dismiss the people that have made this a great place to live. Let's don't dismiss a county commission who has been looking forward, who has been working on these plans. Listen, they know the challenges. We know the challenges, and we are working toward those every single day. And for someone to sit here and say that we haven't looked ahead is unbelievable, because we are looking ahead and we are doing the things that need to be done. I received a text from a prominent businessman just a few days ago. Listen to this text and it will tell you what is happening in Maury County. He said, I believe that Columbia and Maury County are improving constantly. We have challenges, but we are now heading in the right direction. And for someone to say that we aren't, or that this county commission has not looked ahead, that I have not looked ahead, there's just no validity to that, because we are heading in the right direction. We know we want our families to live here. My family lives here. My grandchildren, most of them live right here. We want this to be the place, and we want to help them to be able to do that. We see the homeless. We know exactly that they need help as well, and we are working on doing that. We have to be a caring community. Maury County has a new trajectory. It takes time, and I'm laughing about the phrase, we're working on it. I wish I was a genie and I could twitch my nose and things would happen, but you have to work together, and it takes time. It takes cooperation to build and reset this model on a new trajectory of affordable housing, of homes for our children, of jobs for our children. That process has to be done. This is another thing. The process has to be done legally and fairly. One thing I have done as mayor of Maury County is treat every single person the same. I'm not going to tell you that I'm going to try to go around these building ordinances for you, but I wouldn't do that for someone else. You see, a mayor could do that, but I'm a person who's going to treat everyone fairly, and these things have to be done legally and as fairly as possible. I'm committed to bringing everyone to the table. As you know, being the mayor of this great county cannot be a one-man show. It takes teamwork and leadership with mutual respect, and that respect is earned, not decided by clicks and likes and shares on Facebook. It's decided by people like all of you who actually show up and do what it takes to know what's going on and to know how to vote. You're the people that matter. You're the people that make the decisions. You're the people that come to us and tell us how you want to be represented. And then a true leader can get others to do that. Being a good mayor demands statesmanship. You know, I saw a meme, and I know we're very good with memes. I saw a meme coming in here that said, "Let the show begin." Is this a show to you? It's not to me. To me, being a mayor is statesmanship, honesty, integrity, truth, not showmanship. This is not a show to me. This matters to me. Over 3 years ago, my opponent came into my office and told me that day that he wanted to be the county mayor. So for 3 years, he's been running for county mayor. That does not sound like service from the foot of the table to me. That sounds like someone who's really looking to move ahead or decides they have to be the main person. But for someone to come and tell me 3 years ago they're going to run for mayor, you have to wonder about that. Now I'm asking for your vote so that together we can continue to make sure that Maury County's days are ahead. The best days are ahead because we're working together, collaborating.
That's time, Mayor. I'm sorry.
Thanks.
Candidates. Thank you. Candidates, I want to thank you both for being here this evening and allow the citizens to hear directly from each of you. Those of you who are here, I hope you were able to garner some information in order to make an informed decision when voting. Speaking of voting, just a reminder, early voting does begin on July 17th and runs through August 1st, with Election Day on August 6th. And one last time, I would like to thank our event sponsors, John Mayer Builders and United Communications, for their support this evening. I want to thank you all again for taking time out of your busy schedules to be here, and we wish you all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. You set it over here.